How to change folder appearance. This tutorial shows how to change the way folder contents are displayed in Windows. To open a folder and display its contents in a window, double-click it, or double-click a shortcut to a folder. A folder Windows appearance can be changed using the View menu on the menu toolbar at the top of the window. If that toolbar is not visible, you can make it temporarily visible by pressing the Alt key. I recommend you make it permanently visible. To make it permanently visible, if it isn't already, click Organize and drag down to Layout, and then click Menu Bar to check it if it's not checked. Since it is checked, if I click it, it will uncheck it, and I'm not going to do that. So if it's not visible, if the View menu, this menu, starts with File, is not visible, click Organize, drag down to Layout, go click the menu bar to check it if it isn't checked. The View menu. You can select many ways to display folder contents here. I'm going to move this down so you can see what the choices are, and then I'll move it back up and tell you as I make the choices. So the View menu pops up this list. It can display the items in the folder as extra large icons or pictures, large icons, medium or small icons. Or it can display the items in the folder as a list, or it can display the details of the items in the folder, and we'll see what these do later. Tiles is another way to display it. So what I'll do is I'll make some selections. I'm not going to show you the menu each time. So this is the list menu. I'm going to go back and show you what the icons look like first. Okay, here are the extra large icons. They look like this. And of course you can go, there's several steps in icon size: large, medium, and even small. Small icons looks kind of like a list, but it has little pictures on the end of the items. Okay, now back to the one that we had on before I started the icons, and that's the list. The list, what it does, I have the list cut off. I'm going to shorten the window size so I can describe how it really does the list. What it does on the list, it looks at how many items are in the folder. It figures out how many lines will fit in one column in this window, depending on how tall the window is. So 6 items have fit in one column. It'll show as many columns as it needs to show all the items. Now let's take a look at what it's done. There's 6 items there. There's 6 there. That's 12. There's 6 more there. That's 18. And there's 1 there. That's 19. So it took 19 items. It figured out how many columns it needed when it can fit 6 with this window height. If I increase the window height, the number of columns will come down. Again, this is the list option where there's no details, it's just the names of the things in the folder. There's another view called the details, and what that does, it shows the name of the item and a list of the different details for each item that you have told it you want to see. I have selected date modified and size to be shown. Name has to be shown, but everything else you can decide what needs to be shown. Now this format is a nice format to use. I almost always use it. You can sort on any one of these columns by clicking them. Look at the order they're in now. If I click name, it'll sort this column in alphabetical order. Here's how you choose details. You click View, and you click Choose Details. You get a list here. You can check the items you want shown on the Details option. I have, as I said, the name, the date modified, and the size checked. Notice a lot of these don't apply to most types of files. These files are mostly text files or shortcuts to text files, and there's a few pictures. So for instance, 35mm focal length. I don't have any files in here that has anything to do with. There's no account involved here. There's no album, like a music album, involved. These aren't music files. There's no artist. So a lot of these don't apply to most files. Organize menu, we looked at it a little bit earlier. I pointed out that you can tell it to either show or hide the menu bar in the organized menu. You can also tell it to show the navigation pane. And what the navigation pane does, it gives you the hierarchy of everything stored in your computer and lets you show in this pane whatever you select over here. So you can move around in the computer without closing this window and then opening another window by clicking on an icon somewhere else. You can actually navigate around with this navigation pane, which you can optionally show in the organized menu. Click the organized menu, click layout, and if you click navigation pane, it'll always show the navigation pane. I recommend you always show it because you can always make it real narrow and only make it wider when you need to use it. It doesn't take up that much space when you make it narrow. Now there's also a preview option in the organize. On the layout, you can ask for a preview pane. I'm not going to illustrate it, but what it does, it will show a preview section of the selected files, such as a picture or text, at the bottom of the window. The one last thing I could point out, if you've made changes to this folder and you close the folder, those changes will stay in effect for that folder, but they won't affect any other folders unless you use the organize menu to go down to folder and search options, and then you click the view tab. The top entry in the view pad says folder views. You can apply the view, such as everything you've set up for the current view, that you're currently using for this folder to all folders of this type. So if you click apply to folders, it will make all folders of this type look like this one. It'll show, right now we're showing the details, so it'll make them all show details when you open them. That's a very handy feature to use too. That's the end of this tutorial, and thank you for watching.